My World Delivered by Alex Bourne. I'm going to show you the story of my life and how my environment has influenced who I am today through Google Earth. I'm going to take you on the journey of the places I have lived and how they have modelled me into the person I am today. Along the way, I'll have little bubbles with brief descriptions of the places to go along with my narration. Alright, we start out in England. I was born in St Peter's Hospital on the 11th of April 1988 in a town called Chertsey. It's about 30 miles outside London. When I was about 6 weeks old, my parents and I moved to Kanata in Canada. My dad worked for a software company and took an opportunity to work abroad. This is where I really started to develop my passions. As you can see, one of them soccer. And I made friends early on. Being an only child was sometimes tough, and at times my closest friends lived in the bath with me. This is also where my lengthy future of dressing up started. As you can see, I was a big fan of doing it big, here with the all-in-one Ninja Turtle costume. When I was 4, we moved back to England to a town called Virginia Water. We lived at 297 Strode Road. When I got there, I was a cultural disaster. English born, of English parents, living in England with a whiny French-influenced Canadian accent. It was strange for everyone involved. Nevertheless, I quickly adapted and developed a heavy British accent, which I am now told I am losing a bit, despite my arguments. My father's side of the family was mostly French, and I got part of my cultural upbringing through them. The French tend to be direct, but caring and sensitive people, and I feel like a lot of that shows through my character. And I lived in that house until I was 12, when my parents got divorced and my dad moved out to America. My parents' divorce had a major impact on my development as a young man. My mum worked full time and I learned very fast how to take care of myself. I feel like I am much more independent and mature due to my childhood. When I was 7, I started a new school, Hall Grove. It was a private all-boys boarding school. It was really fun as a small child. Every night was a riot of pillow fights and room raiding. There were only 23 kids in my grade, and living and learning with them for 6 years, I really developed some of the closest relationships I think I'll ever have. This is also where I started playing team sports at a pretty intense level from a young age. But at that age, I really lived for rugby. I was much bigger than the other kids, and some of the confusion and stress of my parents' divorce was all solved and siphoned through rugby. When I was 13, we moved to a town called Weybridge. My new school was in this town. Our house was smaller, but it was right in the middle of town, a walking distance from all the local shops and even my school. I really loved living there, and it was one of the best decisions my mum ever made for us. A lot of my friends also lived close by, and with my bike I could go anywhere I needed to be. I worked across the street at a local grocery store as a fish and meat technician, a term I coined to avoid butcher or fishmonger. It was miserable, but it taught me the value of earning my own money. This was my daily walk to and from school until I got a bike, and then it was my ride until it got stolen, and then it was my walk again. It was about 1.5 miles. It was good exercise, and it really was a good start and end to my days. It gave me the chance to collect myself and organise my life. I still try to walk as much as I can and sometimes really just enjoy the time alone. When I was 13, I started that new school, St George's College. I didn't know a single person, but I didn't mind. I kind of liked it that way. This is something which I have now realised really appeals to me, the idea of moving to a new place where you don't know anyone and giving yourself the chance to grow and expand into your new surroundings. I did it later when I came to Georgia, and I am now starting to think about where I'd like to go after I graduate. Anyway, the school was amazing. I have the best memories of my life there. I met the most amazing people there, and it influenced me a great deal in developing me into who I am today. I really do owe a lot to the teachers there and all the people who did everything they could to help me fulfill my potential. I graduated as happy as I've ever been, not to be leaving, but to have been there for that time. I earned 3 A-levels in physics, economics and philosophy. These things really sum up my personality as a whole. I really like to be able to see all sides of things, both mental and physical, as well as my love for business. I really did have great times there, and not to mention the rugby was amazing. I played 6 days a week, often 7, for pretty much the 5 years I was there. We were top 5 in England most years, and it was incredible to be part of such a tight team of people. What I've learned about the benefits of teamwork from my years playing rugby helped me a huge deal with projects and working towards goals now. It really was awesome. So when it was time for me to graduate high school, my dad asked me what my plans were. I told him I was looking at English universities, and he advised me to check out some of the schools in the States. I did, and I really like UGA. I applied early and got accepted in December. It really happened in about 2 months, all of it. I'd never been here before my orientation, and it was pretty intense looking back at it, but all I remember is excitement. I remember waking up a few times after only being there a week or so and thinking, how did I get here? It was all very surreal, but nevertheless, I love the atmosphere and the culture and the people. And I guess the attention for being British wasn't too bad either. I tried to hold on to my heritage for as long as I could, but eventually I gave in and embraced my new culture. Both of these were from Halloweens over the last few years. Irony more of a goal than frightening at this age, I guess. It's really interesting for me to see how people from both my present and past life see how I've changed and developed. I feel like the wider the variety of cultures and lifestyles you experience, the greater the perspective you as a person have on life. Seeing things through other people's eyes, seeing what's really important to them, has really changed the way I look at things in general. I've had great opportunities here, and I've done things I would have never imagined doing. I've caught 150-pound fish off the coast of the Keys in Florida, driven thousands of miles and seen a crazy amount of places. I developed new interests and obsessions I know I would have never even known about. I also have great friends here, and on top of that, I would have never gotten the opportunity to work like this, with such new and cool technology which I know will help me in the future. To finish up, I'd just like to say that my current experiences are influencing me in just the ways I want them to, and I'm becoming who I want to be. Thanks for watching. This has been My World Delivered by Alex Bourne.